Hey guys, Eric.
That's Tim.
Glenda?
We are D&E Miniature and Board Games. Hey, we just got done playing Slash-Accre.
Slash-Accre.
80s slasher board game. You guys want to hear what we had to say? Stay tuned.
Oh, you're going to want to stay tuned.
This guy. Alright, so Slash-Accre. Chris Herbert game. It is a... Tim?
It's a retro feel game. It's a, what do they call this? What's the, what, is Chris Herbert American?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what they call Ameritrash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you could go in that category.
And yes. This definitely, if anything is gonna meet the obligatory Ameritrash, and this is not to us Americans, this is to folks, from around the world that have that preconceived notion of us Americans. Mm-hmm. This would be their, typical Americans. Just always about the violence and killing people and, sex and drugs.
And violence. Sex, drugs, and violence.
I thought it was sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Well, they dress like rock and roll, but there is little rock and roll mentioned.
Hey, so you guys, if you've never watched our reviews, we score on 5 categories: graphics and artwork, components, rulebook, replayability, and overall fun. We score a 1 to 5, with 5 being outstanding, 1 being horrible, and 3 being average. Nothing good, nothing bad, it's just average score. So, as we've been doing lately, we're going to rattle off our scores, and then we kind of go back and forth talking about it. Graphics and artwork, I got a 4.
Oh, straight up 5.
Glenda, what'd you get?
I got a 4.
So, Tim, I know why you got a 5, because you said it right when you saw it. My problem, though, was the print on the cards was really small.
I took that into components.
See, I took that in the graphics and artwork. I think the print was just really small, and for, people our age, really hard to read.
And that's the life of this game. It's not just, one time. Every time you move, you have to read it. And that makes it important. We have several board games that, okay, just read it one time.
I'm not used to being in the middle, so I apologize for you not
I just
being
have
able
to,
see around me.
So
I just concur with Eric, with Kane.
I also felt that the board itself, it was really nice, but the border that changed the zones shouldn't have been green.
Yeah.
It should have been almost like a bright red.
Yellow. Something
that stood out, because you're talking about woods. You're talking about an area, a campground that's green. So those zones, they don't really stand out. It's, I guess if you didn't have good lighting, like we had good lighting in here, it would have been hard to see.
Yeah, it wasn't offset. It's definitely a different green. But if you're not on top of it,
yeah,
you really can't see it. But the reason why I gave it a 5 is, come on, man.
You fell in love with Nerdy Guy card, I know.
Yeah, that's it.
Anything else that you want to talk about with graphics artwork?
No, because like I said, we'll get into my points for components.
Alright, well, components I gave a 5.
I gave it a 3.
Glenda?
Give it a 5.
Tim, why don't you hit with your 3, and Glenda and I will come in with our 5s.
We didn't talk
I
about
gave it the 3 mostly because of the print on the cards. Okay?
That's why you got it.
Because, see, I look at the cards as, yeah, they're graphics and artwork, But when there's print on it, you know, that you have to read to play the game, you know, I take that into a component as well. And these are really small. The dashboards, while the dashboards art is great, you know, your tracker has a slick bottom, and there's nothing to keep it from sliding or falling or moving, so it's hard to keep track, you know, make sure that this thing doesn't get knocked off.
Which repeatedly did during our
Oh
games.
man, because
When
somebody
you're
likes to
playing
roll dice like, you know.
Because you know, that's what the teenagers
You never know. But, you know, I will mention though, everything else with this is absolutely freaking amazing. And you can tell this is not, not, you know, done in a factory.
Mhm.
You know, and I appreciate that. And you know, I'm not. Oh wow, that was a hair. I thought that was a mark. Oops, my bad. You know, and you know, maybe 3's a little harsh. But you know, I get it. You know, he did all this stuff, but I mean, you can buy that in the stores.
Moving along. Go into 5.
I keep forgetting
Yeah.
in the middle.
I gave it a 5. I think there's so much heart put into the game. The set, the cabins, everything. You know, we're not used to just, you know, we're used to just the board or whatever, the teeny tiny stuff. But this is good wooden. What do you call that? This is your
MDF.
MDF materials, and I know I broke this when I threw the thing, but I understand it's not its fault. It's my fault.
Wild die throwing.
Exactly. And like I said, like he said, it's not a commercial looking game. It's not a cheap looking game. So, and the theme, you know, it what do you call that? It stick to the theme of the game. So you have the darkness feel, and yet, you know, you're in the woods. So the components translate to that, and the materials used even for the trees. Although it kind of like hurts when you touch it, all those pine trees.
We should have played this in the dark. That's right.
But-
Yeah, we should have turned the light down.
And with the music. But this is a good component. It's really good. I didn't take out any points for, you know, but everything else is, for me, it's perfect.
So, I as well gave it a 5. There are aspects about it that I could have driven the score down. Like Tim brought up the tokens that that show your fear. That show your fear. I could have taken down for that because yes, it's kind of distracting when they slide so much onto the card. But that also shows the care that was taken into the design of the cards because they have such a waxy surface and they're nice and shiny and they look like they're going to stand up for a while. But it's got that homemade feel, and honestly, when I look at the board with the cabins and everything, all I think is Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
And when I look at the figures, all I think is Jason and the crazy teenagers from Camp Crystal Lake. It's like the nerdy guy reminds me of the one guy from, I think it was Friday the 13th 3, that couldn't get the one girl interested in him, and he got killed, I think, in the barn or something. He's like, you know. All of them had characteristics of characters that I remember from slasher horror movies, which is why I had to paint the things. I mean, you got right down to the jock with the varsity jacket on.
Of course. Sports jacket.
Yeah, the preppy guy with
The sweater.
The sweater.
Yeah.
Stevens!
And it was right down to the point that even with your deep woods and your campfire and even the entrance to the camp, you didn't need the entrance to the camp sign, but he made it anyways. And you got the cabins, You've got the first aid, you've got the hospital, the first aid, the cafeteria, the utility shed, the dock. I love the dock.
Oh, definitely.
I love the dock and when he did this, he could have just done MDF all the way across, but no, he put the blue plastic here. And on top of everything else, the blue plastic also has what looks like water. It has a pattern to it.
I'll one up Eric on the dock comment.
The holes in
The holes,
He burned it to put holes in it. And I would almost...
Well, I think he's using a laser cutter.
I would almost bet, though, that probably most of these are not exactly the same. I would bet that they're burnt differently. He strikes me as that type of artist.
It's really nice.
And right down even to the die. I mean, it's a homemade game.
Very.
It's one guy that's doing this. I know that he sent like the cards out to be printed, but everything else he's pretty much doing at home.
And the funny thing about the frickin' dice is, the ones that he made roll beautifully. The plastic one, the one that you need so you can run away, doesn't roll for nothing.
Oh, heartaches there.
I may be better.
Hey, Rulebook though. Rulebook, I gave it a 4.
I gave it a 4.
I gave it a 3.
The Rulebook's not bad. It's written by one person, and there are going to be mistakes, and there are going to be things that people really don't understand really well. But he went in pretty in depth on most things and explained things pretty well. I think I had to send 2 questions off, and it wasn't anything major. And a couple of the other things I had to read a few times to go, what? And it took me a few times to understand, oh, that. Okay. But for one person doing it, that's not bad. I also understand that he meant to do a better print run with it, which would have probably given us a larger font on the Rulebook, which hurt his score because the font's kind of small. We're old, we can't see. But I also understand that because of some of the situations that happened with the postage and handling with this Kickstarter, that he had to cut some corners some places, and the Rulebook's one of the places to cut the corners in. I get that.
It's just another thing, though, that shows the amount of work he put into this, you know. The Rulebook, the print's small, colors are dark, it's just black and white, there's no other color to it. One of my biggest notices of the Rulebook was, while there's gapping between sections, when you're going from point to point, you'll have a super bold, all caps section up here with a title, and then you've got a smaller text, bold, all caps here, words, space, another caption, title, words, and you kind of lose, like, we just don't look at stuff in depth like we used to. So you focus on that first one that's big, bold, and that if that's not the topic or the title or the thing you're searching for, you're going to keep moving. What you're looking for could actually be in one of those subtexts that's got another bold but smaller type, but because it doesn't catch your eye, you just keep moving by it. So that's why we had to keep going back and forth on some things, trying to figure out, what means what and where goes, So, but, other than that, pretty good Rulebook.
Glenda?
Okay, so the Rulebook, again, it's homemade looking.
Not looking.
If you're somebody who doesn't know the backstory, okay, well, I gave it a 3, right? The backstory of the game, how it was created, and you just purchase a game, you would really say something bad about the rule book. Like, you spent so much time on this one, you could have done colored and, because you don't really know the backstory of what happened. But you're not gonna take points because it's not colored. Not really. But at least the fonts are bigger. Could have been. Because it's, make it bigger, you're already using the white paper. So the black is good enough for the color of the print. But at least the fonts are bigger. Now, did he outline it properly or correctly? He did. I mean, story at the front, outline, the symbols, the meanings, is all there. And it's playable.
Oops.
You read it. I think sometimes it gets too in-depth and detailed. And then you lose it. But it's playable. So my only thing is, for you to be able to play the game, should be able to read it.
I guarantee you,
So
Kinko's loves this guy and hates him at the same time.
yeah, that's the only thing.
Okay, replayability. I gave a 4.
I was a 5.
I'm a 5 too.
No. Well, I mean, 4 is still above average.
Yes, the backlash.
And don't get defensive. It's okay.
I just saw that. Now, I know it's got expansions. I know it's got other killers. But I saw the replayability of this would start to kind of drag after a while if you were just playing the base game. If you just had Kane. Now, I've got Kane. I've got Zombie Kane because Zombie Kane was part of the Kickstarters. And I know Mother Knows Best, you get 2 more. But if it was just 1, I think, to me, it might drag down replayability a little bit.
I think the reason why replayability is so high is, Jesus, it is, man, it's hard to be a man, baby. Just trying to be these campers and just survive, period, is difficult. Trying to get objectives, difficult. Trying to complete tasks, difficult. But the deeper we got into the game, we started seeing that those things are super important to try and get done.
Correct.
So it adds a aspect, it adds a flair to the game. So I could definitely play this at least 1 or 2 more times before I physically harm somebody.
He got really close to physically harming somebody. Glenda?
Okay, to add to that, there's, again, so many possibilities. The combination of who gets what card, who gets what card, and who's Kane, and it adds to that, your strategy, where you're gonna place all those tokens, where are teenagers gonna go, how many players are involved, how many players can play this? 6.
Well, there's 6 teenagers and a killer, so that gives you 7.
And then you don't have enough players, you can have all the players, so
I don't see anything for that many people.
5.
No, because it says it breaks down, but you could physically go up to 7 and have 1 person playing each teenager.
So, yeah.
I think it would kill 7 people though, because it'd just be like.
I think 6 people would kill 1 person.
So yeah, the replayability is I gave it a 5. That's so much, and then I'll play it again. I like it. I enjoy it. Well,
Now,
you really got to set yourself about 2 hours out though to do it.
correct. This is a
here's
long
where
game.
it's about to get interesting though. Next category.
Fun. Glenda?
Well, I gave it a 4.
Tim?
I gave it a 3.
I went with a 3.
You guys gave it a 3? Unbelievable.
Okay, so let me say why. When I got this game, And actually, while I was following this on Kickstarter, because this is mine from Kickstarter, I was pumped. I loved the idea. I loved the cabins. I loved the figures. I got it. I painted the figures for our playthrough. And when we started playing it, the first game was really pumped with it. The second game was still pumped, but here's the problem with this one. And I get it, okay? And
do you?
yeah, I do.
Do you?
And thinking about it, wait a minute, I probably scored this too low. Because if you think about any slasher film from the 80s, the first 4 or 5 people die in the first 15 minutes of the movie. Most of the movie is all about 1 or 2 characters trying to survive the killer. And that's what this turns out to be. I mean, probably our last, I'd say hour of the playthrough is me trying to get one of the 2 of you, because Glenda's character in that last game we played, I couldn't kill. She had an old picture of me. All she had to do is show the picture to me.
That picture is hilarious.
But no offense. Once that character has that, I'm not going after that character anymore. Because I can't kill that character. So you're down to chasing one person around the board trying to figure out where they're going to go. And it's at that point...
That's what made him mad, huh?
But it's at that point that... It's at that point that I understand that the killer can pop up. He can change his location secretly. He can pop up at the different locations. But the killer should have...
What? The ultimate? The superpower?
I don't know. Faster speed?
But we have to remember
it's not fast.
that, in Friday the 13th,
Jason was slow.
when Jason was presented with his mummified mother's head, Jason became docile. He was like,
Hey, I had a picture of me. Alright?
Kane Hodder! That's the person I was looking for. Kane Hodder,
Alright.
Jason.
To me, though, there toward the end, when you're trying to kill... For me, just trying to kill the last teenager... I don't know. It just started dragging to me a little bit.
Did it drag for you then?
It's just salty about it.
Was it bad then? Did it get difficult for you then?
Was it super hard to become mean?
When was the game better for you? At the start or toward the end?
I would say Tim.
Probably after the unboxing was the most fun that I'm gonna have until I win. All right.
You want to play the killer, don't you?
No, because now I have a mission
To win as the teenagers. It's not easy. It's not designed for the teenagers to win.
I get it. It is Slash-Accre. But okay, the killer is way too overpowered. And you can't amass resources fast enough or resources that negate the powers of the slasher.
I don't know. That picture was pretty negating.
One thing.
He's so salty about it.
Hate that picture.
Yes, he is salty about that. He is.
Okay.
He is salty about that one thing. But, yeah, he's way overpowered. You got limited resources. Man, it is hard. It is hard to be a camper at this place, man.
So what you're saying, though, is that it followed the slasher movie because the slasher wins, well, the scenario we were playing, the slasher wins when he kills 5 campers, 5 teenagers. Most of your slasher movies, how many teenagers got away?
You get down to 1 or 2.
Right. So it follows the genre.
I don't argue the fact.
You just want to be able to win.
Okay, so
Glenda.
that goes to the balance. We always look at kind of balance with every game. And this really tipped the other side over. it's like we said, we're all saying it. We get it. That's the theme. It's always like that. But if you get discouraged from the beginning, like you don't even know how you're gonna win this, and now you have Kane fussing about the one mirror, okay?
Picture.
The one picture.
You had the
Okay.
picture. You think you know what it was?
The picture. I'm sorry. The picture. You know, and I think that's why it's there. We haven't even dug into the rest of whatever we can get.
I think if you cut down on the objective cards a little bit,
Especially if you have all those three
because
sets.
yeah, you're trying to make
That's
a set of 3
too
to finish your
much.
objective.
And there's 9.
You got to cut that objective deck a
There's
little bit
9.
down. I think.
Now here's the thing. Just in general, if you haven't watched the playthrough, all right, is the playthrough go up first or no? I forget how you do it, Mr. Editor.
It depends on which one I work on first.
All right, so at any rate, the picture, okay, turned the killer away and evaded and stopped an attack. All right, across the board,
It was
doesn't
evil.
matter, whatever. Okay, but it doesn't say it's a one-time use.
It doesn't.
Now I had a baseball bat
That's a one-time use.
that not only is it a one-time use,
It only negates
it
one
is
attack.
a specific type of avoidance. So in other words, the killer, if the slasher rolled either of the 2 types of attacks that baseball bat didn't cover, the baseball bat's worthless. It doesn't help you at all.
Now you understand though. I also had cards that were specific attack.
Wah.
No, I'm just saying.
Wah, freaking wah.
He is so salty about this game, folks.
No, bitter.
No,
I am bitter. You are salty.
He's bitter.
I am bitter.
He's salty, and I don't know that it's fun. I gave it 4. I really enjoy it, especially if you put your real action into the game, which I really did on the first game because I really got scared.
Well, I mean, here's the thing though.
Oh, there's a body.
There's a body,
Go back and watch, some of our reviews and playthroughs for some of the other games, and look at them where they have great scores all the way through, but then all of a sudden we get to fun and it's like a low score. And you see what I'm saying here is it's a fun game. There's no denying it.
It is.
It's a fun game. But it's so difficult that you can see over time that it would probably suck the fun out of it if you didn't change up the Overlord aspect of it, or if you
Well,
just,
the different killers would add into it.
yeah, maybe some no yeah.
The map. That's a good thing for the balance of the game.
Yeah, it did help.
Yeah, it did help.
Even with your twisted ankle and you're having to pee through half the game.
Oh man.
See, you have a map and then you twist your ankle.
Totally doing well up until like the last 6, 7 rolls. I'm rolling 6s. I'm off the board here, back on the board over there. I'm just disappeared. Freaking magician. Boom, boom. It's like, how do you like it? Boom, boom, boom. Here I am. Now I'm gone. Boom, boom, boom. And then all of a sudden, it's just like,
We all were rolling ones. But it stays, the theme.
The theme
it's
stays with
just
slasher movies. It does.
right there. While you're watching it, you thought they're going to get away, and then boom, something happened.
And there's the thing is, this game if you go into this game playing teenagers and you think you're not going to lose a teenager, you are sadly mistaken.
if you go into this game playing as teenagers and you think you're going to survive, period, you are going to be sadly mistaken.
Well, and if you're a younger generation and you're not familiar with the 80s movies,
You need to watch.
You need to watch them.
Correct, because it will annoy you, but we understand how the mechanics of it. We all know how that works.
Yeah, this is annoying, like watching Friday the 13th and seeing somebody run full bore, like was face to face with Voorhees, run full bore in the other direction. Okay, for like 20 minutes. Camera pans back. Jason's taking 2 steps.
and then sidesteps into the woods.
And boom, there he is.
So we all know how this works, but once you're playing it,
Kane popped up all over the place.
yeah.
Yeah, and very clever, Chris. Very clever to name the killer Kane. I get it.
I hope you like the names. Oh, we named our
Yeah, we did
character.
name our characters.
Mine were creative.
What was the nerdy guy?
Laszlo.
Laszlo. And how soon did he die?
Laszlo died fairly
First.
quickly.
I think Laszlo was first, Tim.
Nope. Laszlo was not first.
Was it
Brad.
Brad was
Brad
first.
died.
Brad is supposed to be
Brad died
fast.
Brad
but
died in the utility room, then Laszlo died, and then it
Well,
was Steve.
Remember, Kane
With a
wants
P.
to kill him right away because, Kane just envy Brad.
So
No, I wanted to kill the nerdy guy.
what
Hey,
what was our overall?
listen,
here?
overall score of out of 5 was a 4.1. 4.1 for Slash-Accre.
Good.
Homemade game, Chris Herbert. If you haven't got yours yet,
Still high.
it's worth waiting on, guys. This was really good. If you got it just for the terrain pieces for 20 millimeters, the cabins and buildings are really well done.
Can't beat that.
This is an amazing game. Really
There's a
is.
lot of thought into it. There really is.
You get your shower, your bathroom.
And every character has something two special rules that they have that they can use.
Do they benefit you? Probably not.
Probably never. Well, it benefited Glenda, but she didn't need all the resistance. She had the picture.
Did you see the
Exactly
picture?
my
I saw the picture.
point. Exactly
Would that scare
my
you
point.
away?
It was me.
But remember, everything is psychological with the slasher, right?
Yes,
A
everything
lot
is
of
psychological.
So, picture right there. All right.
All right, guys. 4.1 Slash-Accre. You can still order this online. He does have his own web store, and I will put a link in the description if you're interested. He does make these all almost 100% in his house. So if you order one, don't expect to get it tomorrow. He all these things are cut in his basement. The figures are 3D printed. The
Totally
rulebook is made.
totally like the name of the company.
Pick Your Battles games.
Pick Your Battles games. Love it.
And also this does have expansions like Mother Knows Best. It has the 2 extra teenagers, a stoner guy, and I can't remember what the other one was.
That's right.
You can also get the larger map, which is I believe it's a neoprene map with a ruins building on it. There's several other expansions, several ways you can go with this game.
I'm waiting for Haddonfield and Elm Street.
You heard it here first. He wants Elm Street and Haddonfield. As always, guys, support your local gaming. We support.
Discover Games, Fayetteville, Georgia.
Game on, everybody.
Game on, folks.
Game on.